we can't just support up until the age of 18 or 21 and in school. We need to advocate for the same level of support and service because it's essential for success and to decrease that vulnerability into adulthood. You know, the expectations of adult living, including life skills like problem solving, managing finances, and sustaining independent housing are particularly challenging for individuals.
Sometimes we have to mourn the life we thought we were going to live in order to get on with living the life we actually have. And we have to do that again during these older years.
About 94% of the individuals with FASD will show some type of mental health problem at some point in their lives. This is extremely high when you compare to the general population, in which those numbers are about 30%.
And when we're looking at the why for the students, especially students with FASD, there are so many multifaceted layers underneath that challenging behavior that we're seeing coming out at school.
And so when we think about that idea of how do we weather a storm together, there's a similarity there about how families need understanding and a community of support around them to weather that storm. And it's also important to understand the storm is not the child themselves. The storm is happening to the child.
Il faut augmenter le soutien, que ce soit en améliorant les capacités des parents, en augmentant le réseau de soutien autour de la personne, que ce soit financier, mais que ce soit aussi pratique, que ce soit au soutien moral. Puis aussi à travers ça, s'il y a des stresseurs qu'on peut enlever auprès de la famille, des choses qui sont dans leur assiette, qui n'ont pas besoin d'être là, on va essayer de les retirer. Et c'est aussi une recherche de sens.
Just as individuals with FASD may be more susceptible and influenced by these early life experiences of adversity, that same potential vulnerability creates space for opportunity.
When a flower doesn't bloom, you don't fix. You fix the environment in which it grows. You can't fix the flower. Well, it's the same thing for FASD.
Say, for example, with our conversation today from me to you, we're building community right here and right now. And this is a really important holistic approach to think about. Even this virtual format, I'm still building a relationship with you and vice versa. You're also building a relationship with me.
I am sitting here today because I have learned how to live with FAS, how to face my many difficulties and limitations, how to hold my head up, and how to look the world straight in the eye and become an advocate for change, how to change what the world understands about FASD, and to work for a better future in which all people with FASD thrive.
What families do need is individualized responsive supports. And there's different kind of levels of that, different ways of different needs at different times. If you think about that storm and the tornado, if you live in a tornado alley, sometimes there's just wind and sometimes there's tornadoes. And you have to get better at being prepared for the tornado.
Being able to really empathize in a way with Andrea in a way that the professionals weren't able to do. They weren't able to see what it was that Andrea was experiencing, but the peer could. And the peer could actually communicate those emotions on Andrea's behalf in those meetings. And that really was the catalyst for Andrea getting the support that she didn't even know that she was looking for. And it made a huge difference in the life of not just Andrea as a parent, but her whole family.
So if we look at all three of these groups, we're finding really positive outcomes in all of the groups. The caregivers have reported feeling a sense of belonging. They feel less isolated. We know that friendships are forming outside of the groups.
And we've really changed our mindset when we educate. And I've trained my staff to not take no for an answer. It's really not about he's not ready for school, but how can we get school ready for him? It's really about changing the way that we look at the way that we educate.
I hope I've been able to convey that a tiered model of service delivery, it works. It's an effective way to provide occupational therapy services for students with FASD at school.
Another way is to present annually to the Governing Council of the Ontario College of Teachers, which is the regulatory body that oversees teachers and teacher qualifications in Ontario, and ensure that FASD is captured in approved additional qualification courses, and to request a new course on disability training, and that it be offered as an additional qualification or AQ course for educators.
Let's start balancing the story. We're not going to ignore areas of difficulty, but let's start genuinely identifying the strengths that we can leverage to support healthy outcomes.
Supporting transition allows us to plan with the youth, with the individual on a strengths-based basis and know their interests and their needs.
And he makes people feel safe. He makes people also feel proud as well, especially in regards to their cultural identities.
I'm excited by her finding her joy. I love that so much, her joy. Seeing her grow in confidence, self-acceptance, and love of life. I'm excited for all the adventures that lie ahead. I hope that for us as communities, and as the research continues and our intervention knowledge grows and deepens, that we too can be excited and hopeful and to see the potential and the purpose and the meaning of life as much as caregivers are seeing.
Our anti-human trafficking program and others like it would not be here today without the work of survivor advocates.
We really appreciate all the work that people are doing to better the lives of individuals with FASD.
This process gives family hope. And I think that when you have hope, you have everything.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope we were able to share a little bit of time for change and how we can support individuals transitioning to adulthood.
Reach for It has been something that's, I think, provided some, hope for families to see that their kids can be successful.
There is nothing else like Reach for It. And it's not to say that there's no other program, there's just nothing else like Reach for It. We come together and allow a place for the children to be comfortable, to laugh, to be themselves and be accepted amongst each other, but as well with the volunteers.
This provides a positive look at what these kids can accomplish and what a community can accomplish.
We're teaching each other, and we're all learning at the same time how to be the best that we can be for these children.
So I've redefined what success can look like for me, which should be the right and destination story for every person with FASD. To the woman who gave birth to me, whom I never knew, and whom died when I was 10, I want her to know that I'm okay, and hopefully she would be proud of me. I may have had to change my dreams, but I do have dreams that work for me, and I have made some of them come true.